From WDTN, the station that's working for you, this is 2 News at 6.
Hitting the East Coast as we take a live look in North Carolina. We'll tell you how Hurricane Florence is impacting the Carolinas right now, plus the local volunteers heading towards the storm to help. Plus how volunteers from the Miami Valley are preparing for the worst of the storm to hit. And a deadly fire early this morning kills a mother and her son in their home. How the family is remembering their loved ones tonight. But Hurricane Florence is at the doorstep of North and South Carolina. Outer bands from the hurricane now lashing land at least a full day before the storm's eye set to blow ashore. Florence is now expected to make landfall as a Category 2 storm overnight. Wind speeds could range from 60 to 100 miles per hour. Florence will likely drench the coast for days. Extreme storm surge, historic flooding, and prolonged damaging winds are still on the horizon. And Storm Team 2 meteorologist Melissa Barrington is tracking the hurricane tonight as well as the forecast here in the Miami Valley. She joins us now with a first check of your forecast.
And Florence right now is about 90 miles to the southeast of Wilmington, North Carolina. It's moving only at 5 miles an hour, so it's slowed down considerably, and it's basically going to hug along the coastline here as we go through the overnight hours, and then it's expected to make landfall by tomorrow morning. As it does so, it'll continue to weaken as it moves inland, and we will be dealing with flooding, especially from this, because it's going to meander across parts of the Carolinas over the weekend. Here's the latest look at Florence right now. You can see it's getting closer and closer to the shoreline here. We still have a lot of convection here on the southeastern side of the storm system, but it's starting to weaken a little bit. But again, it's still a very large storm and is impacting lots and lots of folks. Back here at home, we are looking at plenty of sunshine out there, and temperatures warmed up nicely today into the lower and middle 80s in many locations. And if you're heading out and about this evening, we are looking at partly cloudy skies and temperatures generally in the 60s or 70s. Coming up, we'll have a complete look at your Storm Team 2 forecast.
Some of the volunteers from the Miami Valley are now in place, awaiting the worst of the storm to hit. 2 News reporter Deborah Bogart talked to a local group that has members in North Carolina.
I'm here at MedPro LLC in Eaton that sent 5 ambulances and 10 emergency personnel after answering a call from FEMA. Deploying Tuesday night to Garner, North Carolina, owners and employees of MedPro LLC are now stationed waiting for Hurricane Florence to hit before FEMA directs them where to go and what to do.
I'm helping the local EMS systems run 911 to transferring people from nursing homes to shelters or from hospitals to other hospitals further inland.
The daughter and niece of 2 of the owners who are deployed say this is their life's calling, recently responding to Hurricane Harvey in Texas and to Florida when Irma hit.
They do it pretty much every year, sometimes a couple times a year, just depending on how many we have at that time. And I'm so proud of them. You know, they go down there, they help out.
She says she has been in constant contact with her dad while they are on standby. And although she worries while they are gone, she finds comfort knowing they are serving a greater good.
And this is kind of what America's about, is helping each other out when we're in need, and they're there to do it.
Wilson says they do not have an exact time frame of when they'll be gone, just plans to stay as long as they're needed. Reporting in Eaton, Deborah Bogart, 2 News, working for you.
Senator Sherrod Brown also commenting on Hurricane Florence, saying he's proud to see so many Ohioans stepping up and helping out the areas impacted in many different ways.
They send supplies. They often personally go to those areas. Some are working for the electric companies, others volunteer their time, and it's the resiliency of our nation, and it's good to see people in Ohio stepping up as we always do.
To watch a live track of Hurricane Florence, you can go to WDTN.com. Just check the top of our homepage. And the Montgomery County coroner has identified the victims of a fatal fire at the intersection of Paul Laurence Dunbar and Tampa Avenue. 23-year-old Sharonda Childs and her 7-month-old baby Cassius died after they were rescued by firefighters around 3:30 this morning. 2 News reporter Ethan Fitzgerald learning more from the family in this developing story.
Well, Brooke, the family will tell you there are no words to describe this tragic situation. We can take a look here behind me at the house. The top left corner sustained the most damage. Now, this was the family home. Sharonda lived here with her baby and her father, who was in the hospital when this fire broke out. The smoke and flames on Paul Laurence Dunbar are out, but friends and family can't take their eyes off what's left. Sharonda Child's sisters left remember a young mother with a 7-month-old baby. With family by her side, Shanice Childs opened up about little Cassius.
He was a very sweet and happy and cheery baby. He just turned 7 months, and yeah, he was just a sweet little baby.
When firefighters got on scene, people in the neighborhood immediately flagged them down.
We immediately went into rescue mode. The crews did locate a female adult and a child.
Firefighters say Sharonda and Cassius did not appear to have burns, but there was heavy smoke inside the home.
She was a very sweet girl, and she's very lively, very free spirit. She just loved people and loved life, and she lived her life very well.
There is no word yet on the cause for the fire. It appears the major damage came from the back left corner of the home. The family, struggling to get answers, is left wondering why a young mother and her baby are no longer with them.
And she loved her baby. She posted about her baby like every day on Facebook. She loved being a mommy, and she loved her baby. She loved that baby so much.
Well, right now you can see the stove which was inside of the house. There's a lot of belongings out in the front of the home right now. Now, firefighters say the house did have working smoke detectors. We'll let you know what happens next. Ethan Fitzgerald, 2 News, working for you.
Investigators are still looking into the circumstances surrounding the death of a family of 3 after they were found dead inside their apartment weeks after the fire that killed them. 2 News reporter Dana Smith spoke to relatives and neighbors in this developing story.
It happened in this home right here behind me, and as of right now, neighbors and family members say they have more questions than answers. Merles Jones said her daughter and grandson are 2 of the victims. The other is her daughter's boyfriend.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't have words to express, but I just got in my car and I flew over here, and then when I seen the blinds, how the blinds was, I almost passed out. I just started hollering.
Authorities were called to the scene after neighbors reported an unusual smell. In a 911 call, a neighbor says the front window was covered with flies and their cars had not moved in weeks. Authorities found the family dead inside and evidence of a fire that killed them.
There's going to be many questions, and I don't know if everybody got answers for the questions here, but this is an unusual fire to be happening like this, you know, and for no one to see it and hear nothing, the smoke detector, you know, all of that, you know, it's just sad. It's just a sad situation.
Family and neighbors now questioning how a family could have lain dead inside their home for weeks.
The main thing was that I don't understand why the neighbors and nobody didn't smell any smoke from the fire, you know, and I don't understand that still today. So.
There will be a candlelight vigil in memory of the victims tonight at 8. In Huber Heights, Dana Smith, 2 News, working for you.
Getting ready for the Air Force Marathon, how the community is playing an important role in the races this weekend. The Montgomery County Auditor's Office kicks off its 2020 reevaluation project. Keith says local real estate has been rebounding, starting with the 2017 property value update, when the county's total value increased by 4%. The reappraisal starts with the taking of digital photos of more than 250,000 properties. Vans will take the pictures automatically as they drive around the country. Then county auditors can begin the new appraisals. Happening now, events for this weekend's Air Force Marathon are underway. Doors opened at 11 this morning for the Air Force Marathon Sports and Fitness Expo at the Wright State Nutter Center. Today and tomorrow, you can find more than 100 exhibitions on the latest in sports, fitness, and nutrition. The event runs until 7 tonight, then from 10 a.m. until 8 tomorrow.
The neighboring communities are absolutely integral to our marathon this year. Everything from the support we get from Wright State University to all of our folks here in Fairborn and Riverside to the Fly Zone. I mean, this is very much not just an Air Force event, but a community event as well.
The Air Force Marathon 5K starts at 6:30 tomorrow night, while the marathon, half marathon, and 10K races will take place Saturday morning. Still to come, a love of education and a love of Dayton. Why one woman is gifting her home to Wright State University.
That was my favorite with Carl Nichols. What, Nichols. 9 dead in Malaysia.
A Wright State grad is paying it forward in a big way. Cynthia Jones planning to give her house to the university. 2 News reporter Catherine Ross shows us how her love of Dayton is helping future students afford college.
Education formed the foundation and the building blocks for Cynthia Jones's life.
My mother and my grandmother were 2 of the strongest women that I know. And they felt very strongly about our education.
That influence eventually inspired her to pursue a master's degree in teaching at Wright State University. At the time, Jones was raising her 5 children on her own, and money became tight. But a professor recommended her for a scholarship that kept her on track.
And I just thought that was the greatest thing in the world, that someone saw something in me and gave me something, and it was very much appreciated and very much needed at the time.
Now a teacher in Dayton Public Schools, she wants to give other students the same opportunity.
I don't have a lot of money, but I have things, I have something that I can leave and pay it forward for others to enjoy.
That something is this beautiful brick home. In her will, Jones is leaving it to the university. The school can use the money from its sale to fund scholarships for minority students and students with disabilities.
We have a lot of alums who have made gifts to Wright State, but this is a personal one. This is one that was driven by her desire to want to make a gift.
The gift may be an unusual one, but Jones hopes it leaves a lasting impact.
It makes me happy. It pleases me to know that when I'm gone from this earth, that something that I did here will still live on.
In Dayton, Catherine Ross, 2 News, working for you.
And we want to know what you love about Dayton. To share an idea, go to WDTN.com, click Community, and I Love Dayton to share your thoughts. An award-winning actress comes home to where it all started. Alice Ripley pays a surprise visit to West Carrollton High School this morning. She received a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical in 2009. Ripley, who graduated in 1981, spoke to the chamber choir about her career. She's giving the students a little advice.
It's the idea that you have the negative self-talk in your head that tries to bring you down, and artists, we can't have the luxury of living with that. We have to clean house and get rid of all that in order to really create something.
She also says she likes giving back because she always gets something out of it.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful day here across the Miami Valley. We started out with some clouds this morning, but then those clouds finally broke up and we did see some sunshine, as we're still seeing out here in Greenville this afternoon. And we will continue with partly cloudy skies as we go throughout the evening. Temperatures in the 70s for this evening, and then tomorrow morning as we wake up, we'll start out in the upper 60s and then rapidly warm up into the upper 70s by the lunch hour and back into the 80s once again tomorrow afternoon. Currently outside, we have 87 in Germantown, 86 in Kettering, and 81 in Fairborn. In Dayton at this hour, 82 degrees. The wind, very slight breeze out there out of the northeast at 3 miles an hour. The Bengals are playing the Ravens. What a great night for football. 76 degrees as they kick off, and we're expecting partly cloudy skies in case you're heading down to Cincinnati for that game. Your weather headlines for tonight: it will be muggy during the overnight hours. A slight breeze and patchy fog is possible by tomorrow morning. Warm and humid for the upcoming weekend, and we're keeping a close eye on the remnants of Florence to see how they may or may not impact our area. Right now, though, we are under the influence of high pressure across our area, and that has allowed a lot of those clouds to finally break up, and we're looking at dry weather for this evening and as well as tomorrow. However, here's the latest look at Florence, and you can see here that it still has a well-defined eye wall. The outer bands are already affecting the Carolina coastline, and the National Hurricane Center recently just came out with another update here as of 6 o'clock. In fact, they said that they had a report at Pamlico Sound, which is near Cape Lookout, that they had a sustained wind of 68 miles an hour, gusting to 84 miles an hour. Dangerous storm surge is already occurring with flooding on the west side of Pamlico Sound, and the water levels are rapidly rising. They're already 4 feet above where they normally should be for the water levels there. Florence is forecast to move onshore by tomorrow morning, and then it's going to move inland, and it is going to affect areas of the Carolinas. Heavy flooding is a possibility here with this hurricane. Back here at home, though, we're looking at partly cloudy skies during the overnight hours, and then tomorrow we're expecting actually a pretty nice day here across the Buckeye State, and we're also looking at a few scattered clouds for tomorrow. Air Force Marathon going on Saturday, 67 at 7 o'clock, gates open at 5 a.m., and at the lunch hour we're expecting the temperature around 80 degrees. So tonight, down to about 65. It'll be mild, partly cloudy skies, and in the morning we may see some patchy areas of fog. 65 degrees for that overnight low. Tomorrow, highs near 85. It'll be more humid, and you'll also notice, obviously, that it's warmer, and it's going to almost feel like summer here over the upcoming weekend. It'll be a great weekend for festivals, that's for sure, unlike last weekend when it rained, and the previous weekend before that it was cold. Now this weekend we're actually getting temperatures in the 80s and more sunshine. Now the forecast becomes a little bit more uncertain here as we go Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, and that's because Florence will be moving towards us, and there's a chance Florence could completely miss us, or there's a chance we could kind of get nicked by Florence as it gets closer. So you want to stay tuned to the Storm Team 2 forecast as we go through Sunday and into early next week.
Yeah, and they can track the storm right there on WDTN.com as well. Okay, thank you, Melissa.
2 Sports, powered by Ford.
I'm Jack Pohl live at Paul Brown Stadium, where in just about 2 hours from now, the Bengals and Ravens will kick off week 2 of the NFL regular season. Now, both of these teams are coming off impressive opening day wins, with the Ravens simply demolishing the Buffalo Bills, while the Bengals had that come-from-behind win over the Colts in Indianapolis. Now, tonight, the stakes are much higher. After all, this is an AFC North Division matchup, and it's also Cincinnati's home opener.
just just another game, man. We got to continue. We don't look at any game during this season more important than the others. As long as we look at them as, we got to win this game. So we don't put no added pressure to ourselves to go out there and play our game.
We just got to go out there and play our game, man. I feel like they still going to be the Ravens. They're going to play their game. They're not going to do anything out of the ordinary. So we go out there with a good game plan and we execute. I feel like we'll be all right.
Now, the Bengals have struggled in primetime under Marvin Lewis, with the team going just 8-31 under the lights, including a 5-14 record with Andy Dalton at quarterback. Now, the good news is this is the only scheduled primetime game for Cincinnati this season, and they have played well against Baltimore, going 7-2 over the last 9 meetings. And Joe Flacco's record here at Paul Brown Stadium is just 3-6. To high school football now, where tomorrow night is our Operation Football Premier Health Game of the Week, a cross-county conference showdown, as we got a big one tomorrow night between National Trail and Twin Valley South.
We need to focus on what's ahead and not worry about what happened last week, and we need to get our teamwork together more. We've got some pretty big boys, and we can push them off the ball and we can get some good yards.
There's a lot of challenges playing quarterback because it's all on you on the field. Because if you make a mistake, it's going to be on you. But as a team in general, I think we do pretty good as a team. We want to make the playoffs. That's our goal this year. We're at least going to go 7-3. That's our goal.
We have some size, we have some speed, and we have some good, hard-working kids. And those kids, they don't want to be mediocre. They want to be better. They want to turn the corner, and they want to be the team that everybody says, wow, remember those guys, and look at those guys, and look what they're doing, and look how they're acting. And we just got great community, great kids to work with.
There you go, yeah. You're always trying to get better every day, but we had a great group of kids, especially a great group of seniors, a big senior class this year that's doing a great job of leading us. But then we've had a lot of young guys that are stepping up too and filling some very vital roles. We're going to have a good week of practice and go out. We're going to compete and see if we can't get us another W.
It's a pretty big week for us. We haven't had very many successful years, so being the team to bring success means a lot. But when we play together, we're dangerous.
Protecting our house is definitely, I take pride in that, and I'm sure my teammates do as well. Actually, I know they do, and I think we're definitely going to get it done. I think this is a big game for us. It'll definitely be a big confidence booster for us going through the season.
In addition to our Game of the Week, we will also have Wayne at Miamisburg, Trotwood at Sydney, and Fairmont at Springboro, among many others. Operation Football tomorrow night right here on Channel 2. College football now. 4th-ranked Ohio State will be in North Texas on Saturday night to take on 15th-ranked TCU. OSU defensive end Nick Bosa is not shying away from the Buckeyes' chances in this one. In fact, he says this might be the best Buckeyes team in years.
I think everything is just coming together this year. A lot of young guys, but super talented. Our D-line is playing at a level that's honestly never been seen. So, I mean, when your O-line and your D-line could play as good as we've been playing, and you have Dwayne with time back there, and then, I mean, you're going to have a good team.
NFL football tonight right here at Paul Brown Stadium. The Bengals look to improve to 2-0 for the first time since 2015 when they began that season 8-0 and made the playoffs. I'll have your highlights tonight at 10 and 11. Reporting live from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, I'm Jack Pohl. Brooke, let's send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Jack. We will be right back as Melissa will give you one final check of your forecast.
The first breaths of Florence now breathing here on Wilmington, North Carolina. Nightly news from this location tonight. We'll also talk to our teams up and down the Carolina coast and the reality of living in shelters for those who had nowhere else to go.
All right, Melissa is here with the final look at your forecast. A very warm evening for us out there.
Yes, and it'll actually be beautiful out there. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s here this evening under partly cloudy skies. By tomorrow morning, we could be dealing with some patchy areas of dense fog. Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures warming back up into the middle 80s across much of the area. So some really nice weather finally has moved into our neck of the woods.
Yeah, after last weekend, we could use the dry time, so we're glad to see it.
And unfortunately, people are talking about all the wet weather in the Carolinas, but we're actually looking really nice.
All right, enjoy it while you can. We will see you at 10 on Dayton CW, then back here at 11. Nightly news is up next. Good night.